Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books, and I've been covering a lot of Disney lately. We've, of course, been covering Kathleen Kenendy for a while. There's a tremendous problem over at the management of Lucasfilm. I know you know this. I know we've all heard about things like this before. I was just recently doing a video talking about the layoffs that are coming over at Disney because Bob Iger, everyone knows Bob Iger is going to announce massive layoffs, but what is he going to actually do to fix Disney? We discuss it a bit in the video, but Lucasfilm mess is something that is Bob Iger's fault. Now, Kathleen Kenendy predated Bob Iger. It goes back a very long way. So Bob Iger gets into these situations where people do tend to trust him with their franchises. He got a hold of controlling Avatar. He got control of Marvel. He got control of Pixar. He got control of Lucasfilm. But he didn't really get control of them. He got ownership of them. So people pretty much do whatever they want, whoever the management is over there. There was a shakeup at Pixar, but there was only because there were allegations against John Lasseter, so he had to leave. I mean, that's the kind of thing that you can't really get past human resources. There's not a lot you can do about that. Other than that, Kathleen Kenendy stays where she is, and Kevin Feige gets to do whatever he wants. You know, I understand the idea of Bob Iger being woke and wanting to push ideology and things like that, and he does, because that's all he really talks about. That and creativity. But I really feel like he has no control over the operation, and he never did. There's not a lot Bob Chapek could have done in that time. You know, I have been critical of Bob Chapek. I think there are a lot of things that Bob Chapek was not equipped to do, but Bob Chapek didn't do these acquisitions and set up this momentum which exists with tens of thousands of employees and the support of the board of directors. This is a no-win situation. Wild rumor claims Jon Favreau walked away from the Book of Boba Fett, threatened to quit Lucasfilm and Star Wars after Kathleen Kenendy allegedly continued to meddle in his work. Let's get into this article. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel, click the bell for notifications, and give it a thumbs up. This is coming, of course, from Bounding Into Comics. A wild rumor claims that the Mandalorian creator and executive producer Jon Favreau threatened to quit Lucasfilm and Star Wars after allegedly incessant meddling from Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kenendy. The rumor comes from YouTuber Overlord DVD, who first laid out a number of times when Kenendy and her allies reportedly meddled with Favreau's vision for The Mandalorian and its spin-offs. Favreau has done some really great work. Dave Filoni has done some really great work for the Star Wars franchise. The problem is, you're always kind of serving under Kathleen Kenendy when you do business with Lucasfilm until they eventually get rid of Kathleen Kenendy, which rumor has it will be after the next Indiana Jones movie comes out. Disney has so many management problems, and it's so related to the way that Bob Iger can't control his people, can't get people going in the right direction. So now Overlord DVD claims that Kenendy interfered by orchestrating the firing of Gina Carano, canceling the previously announced Rangers of the New Republic series that would have starred Carano, mandating the space Vespas be included in the Book of Boba Fett, and changing scripts in the Book of Boba Fett to ensure that Grogu, Baby Yoda, reunited with Din Djarin, despite Djarin handing Grogu off to Luke Skywalker at the end of Mandalorian Season 2. Specifically on Kennedy's interference on the Book of Boba Fett, Overlord DVD noted Kennedy's alleged next move against Favreau was corrupting the Book of Boba Fett. She couldn't directly interfere with this production, but Kenendy is clever, devilishly clever. When she saw that Robert Rodriguez wanted to introduce the idiotic Vespas into the Book of Boba Fett, and Favreau hated the idea, Kenendy approached the marketing department and got them to say, "Oh yes, we can sell those. Let's make it happen." As a result, Favreau was so disgusted he said, "F it, let them do whatever the hell they want. I'm going to go off and work on Ahsoka in peace." Overlord DVD ad. Favreau allegedly walking away from the show resulted in a disastrous story and product, so much so that upper management allegedly had to get Favreau to come back and fix it, but it was too late to do much except insert some Mandalorian episodes to cut a few Book of Boba Fett scripts and hold his nose. Next, Overlord DVD detailed the reunification of Din Djarin and Grogu in the Book of Boba Fett. He explained, clearly Favreau planned to have Grogu go train with Luke and become a Jedi. It was a heartbreaking and final episode of Mandalorian Season 2, and it proved that Favreau had a master plan for all his series, and it was a damn good plan. But then Kenendy or someone in her camp, or maybe just an idiot in upper management, said, "Oh no, Baby Yoda is the only Star Wars toy that's selling right now. We can't lose Baby Yoda. We need to put Baby Yoda back with Din Djarin." This was the height of stupidity, a spectacularly awful decision to truly F up everything Jon Favreau was planning, Overlord DVD asserted. After detailing the pointless nature of having Grogu reunited with Din Djarin in the Book of Boba Fett after being taken by Luke Skywalker in the Mandalorian Season 2 finale, Overlord DVD asserts this, it seems, was the last straw for Jon Favreau. He had effing had it, according to reports. Overlord DVD then noted Favreau went directly to Chapek with his problem. An anonymous source informed the YouTuber, quote, well, to be honest, at this point, Jon Favreau was beyond frustrated and was ready to quit. He was sick of being told he had freedom to do what he wanted just to get it ripped out from underneath him. He continued, so Favreau walked into Bob Chapek's office the next Monday and told Chapek, I'm done. I don't care about my contract. You can give it to Kathy and let her hang it on her wall and watch $1 billion franchise burn. Multi-billion-dollar franchise, which they have been burning, right? According to this source, Chapek asked what he could do to make Favreau stay, which would be a good management move. I like that. Favreau responded to this inquiry saying, I get to make Mando Season 3 the way I want, no outside influences, especially Kathy. Who knows how accurate this rumor actually is. However, back in 2021, as part of the second episode of Disney Gallery The Mandalorian, titled Making of Season 2 Finale, Favreau gushed praises for Kathleen Kenendy. He opened the episode stating, I think there's an interplay with storytellers and the people you're telling the story to. You find that the emotions run very deep with Star Wars and people's relationship, especially people who grew up with it from a younger age and feel a lot of connection to it. He continued, I think the one consistent thing I'm feeling is that people care deeply that it's being handled correctly and that it's being handled respectfully. It meant so much to them and they want to see it continue into the future and feel like it's all connected with consistency. Favreau then went on to praise Kenedy. And we're very lucky that between Lucasfilm and Kathy, the whole group that we have are incredibly supportive and encouraging. That sounds like wishful thinking. It's a positive statement that you make to try to encourage more behavior. Of course, that doesn't really seem like the reality. He didn't stop there. Later in the episode, while discussing bringing back Mark Hamill to play Luke Skywalker, he offered more praise for the Lucasfilm president, saying, Kathleen Kenedy we brought in very early on in this conversation. And Kathy, first and foremost, is a great producer. And producers figure out ways to make things happen that are creatively exciting to storytellers. If Kathleen Kenedy was running Star Wars, which she sort of is, and you're a producer working on a project with her, you're working on a TV series as Jon Favreau was. You're not going to bring back Luke Skywalker into the storyline, who is a major factor in the Star Wars franchise, and not discuss it early on. He had no choice but to discuss it early on. That goes without saying. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. He continued, not only does she understand how to create an environment where we can have all the tools that we need to explore and experiment and be creative, but also knows what it takes to incubate ideas and understands the significance of when you do it right, what that can represent. This is just like, throw out some compliments and hopefully like she gets and understands like, hey, this is actually what you're supposed to do as a producer. Do you get it? Do you get it? Yeah, she gets it. She doesn't want to do that. She wants to be George Lucas and she wants the Force to be female. That's the problem with Kathleen Kenedy. That's not going to change. Eventually, she will no longer be at Lucasfilm. Whether it's this year or in 5 years or 10 years, eventually she'll find something else to do. The first episode of The Mandalorian Season 3 airs on Disney Plus on March 1st, 2023. The official synopsis reads, the journeys of the Mandalorian through the Star Wars galaxy continue. Once a lonely bounty hunter, Din Djarin has returned with Grogu. Meanwhile, the New Republic struggles to lead the galaxy away from its dark history. The Mandalorian will cross paths with old allies and make new enemies as he and Grogu continue their journey together. Let me know what you think of this in the comments below. Specifically this, the premise of having a baby Yoda, Grogu, not really a baby Yoda, but a baby Yoda, get taught to be a Jedi by Luke Skywalker. I mean, that is pretty cool. Why would you mess up that storyline? For what possible benefit? Because even if you can't sell the toys as much, and you could figure out another way to sell the toys, but even if you can't sell the toys, that really would be perfection if you had the opportunity to do that. Why would you interrupt something like that unless it was mean-spirited and Kathleen Kennedy's attitude was, look, I do not want Star Wars to be about Luke Skywalker. I don't want it to be about Yoda. I mean, what was she doing at the end of The Last Jedi if not doing that? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Really always like to see what your comments are. You guys have great insights. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications, and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.